Everybody, welcome to the N Word for Nerds, your Heard podcast. The Heard part is just something I just do in there right now.
All right, now.
Right. As always, let's start off with the hard work, the heavy lifting. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified when we are up and streaming. Be notified for all our other content, as well as the N Word for Nerd podcast. We just dropped some new stuff, which is we did the Titans season 3. Me and the Duke of Nerds did that conversation. You can enjoy that. That should be up by the time you're probably viewing this. And we also just put out a small little taste of snippets of us talking about Patman, Robert
Patman. That's
Patterson.
what we decided on, Patman.
Yeah, yes. So check those all out on the Headcanon Circus. And again, we're everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, streaming, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Just again, remember, if you just subscribe and hit the bell, you don't have to worry about where we are because it will notify you. It'll just tell you. It'll be easy. All right, let's go on to the show. Starting off with, we always got to start with the affirmative action hire first. So, Token Jaren, how's it going?
What's happening? Glad to be here. Feeling a lot better than yesterday.
Yes, we had a long night. I was going to weekend, but it was just one night, and yeah, showed our age. Jason, Duke of all Nerds, how's it going, my friend?
It's. I guess we're not supposed to say what day it is. It's Monday today, and everybody hates Monday.
Yeah. I mean, whoever's listening to this hates Monday as much as we do, or as much as Garfield does. Either
Garfield. Worst day of the week.
Worst day of the week. Okay, well, now that we have that out the way, let's jump right into our top 3. I'm getting better. I didn't say 5 or 10 or 7 or a million. So our top 3. So today we're going to do top 3 video game movies in honor of, the things we're going to review today. So let's go ahead and start with you, Jaren. What is your number 3?
I mean, I'm going to come hot and heavy right out of the gate. Super Mario Brothers.
Jesus, that's on your list.
Horrible movie, but man, it's so weird and so bizarre and has such an odd history. They almost killed fucking what's his face while filming it. Like 2 directors that have never worked ever again, I don't think,
or beforehand either.
Or beforehand. Yeah. It single-handedly was the reason Nintendo's like, we're not going to make movies with our characters for like a decade and a half afterwards. I was like, yeah, no, you got to throw it up there, man, because it had those boots.
So, wow. Okay. Jason, Duke of all Nerds, your number 3 movie.
Just to preface this to all the people listening, these don't make, just because they're on a list doesn't mean they're good movies, because they're video game movies, and therefore it's really hard to pick which actual good movies out of this. So it's going to be like the best of the worst here. So my number 3 is the Angry Birds movie, the first one, not the second.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That one was actually pretty entertaining. I enjoyed the comedy in it. Enjoyed the art style. Jason Sudeikis as the yellow bird or whatever it was. Pretty good. Yeah. So number 3 is going to be slightly better than most other video game movies.
Actually, it's funny. I actually prefer the second one more than the first one, but I think they're both really good. And again, I watched them with my daughter, so I had a great time with them. My number 3 is going to be Warcraft. Nobody saw that movie.
How could you say that out loud?
I enjoyed that movie. Yeah, I did too. I saw the theaters too. I enjoyed it.
I saw it in theaters too, but that broke my heart.
I actually saw this movie sneaking in through from watching another movie. Don't come at me, allegedly. And so I sat down and I was like, oh, let's see what this is about. And I actually had a good time. Now, granted, here's the thing. I'll put this disclaimer in. I don't do all the video gaming and the PCing and all that. So for me, I literally watched it as like watching a sci-fi budgeted movie on the big screen that I was like laughing and enjoying myself. The battle scenes were good. The CGI was a little rough in spots, but I could see what they were trying to pull off. The only thing that was more humorous to me was just the makeup for the people who weren't CGI'd, like Paula Patton's extra teeth.
Oh,
like that was comical to me. But again, I looked at it as like, oh, this is fun. So every time I look at Warcraft or randomly will come on TV, I sit down and watch it because somewhere in that movie, it is a good movie. It's just hitting on all the layers of just craziness because they were like, oh, we're going to make this big budget movie. Oh, you only give us how much money? We're going to make a budget movie. They made that movie. So Warcraft is my number 3.
As a person who's been Horde since 2005, I'm going to have to say we're not friends anymore.
Really? For the Horde?
Of course, because I'm an adult.
It's the Alliance, motherfucker.
Oh
Get
my
out of
god,
here.
you're a child, Jaron.
The worst. The worst. Of course you sign up to be the bad guy. You're an angsty
Not
teenage
bad guy. I'm a
teenager.
troll hunter. Sinjin is the most noble creature ever. Fuck
Like,
you. You don't even understand because you're in Alliance and you're a child and you don't understand nuance.
Night elves.
Going
We're the
to
noblest creatures.
nuance. Jaron, what is your number 2?
Number 2. This one's gonna age me. It holds a special place in my heart just because I was at the right age when it came out. And it is the original Mortal Kombat movie. It had music. Yeah,
That's good.
It was it had a Highlander in it. So I mean,
So terrible.
Yes.
And yeah, so I mean, everybody's seen it, probably knows what I'm talking about. I don't really have to delve too deep into it. But yeah, Mortal Kombat, the original.
Hey, I like that choice. I actually enjoy that choice. That's why the last one was so disappointing to me.
Oh yeah.
All right, Jason.
Well,
you're number 2.
Go in that same vein. I'm not going to say Mortal Kombat, but I am going to say Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. As American. Raul Julia's last movie on this earth, and he gives the most wackadoo performance of all time. And he's the only one who's actually trying in this whole entire movie. And it's so bad, it's great. Yeah, Street Fighter.
Rumor has it he saw the first cut of it, and that's why
that's why he died of heart attack.
He keeled over. He's like, "Fuck my legacy!" And just
okay, look here. We should be even now, Jason. I mean, Street Fighter, Warcraft. I know you have a sentimental value, but Street Fighter, it's just.
I didn't say it was good.
It's just as bad as Warcraft.
Yeah.
Oh man! Shout out to Agent May and Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question for Jaron: who's hotter in the prime of it? Chun-Li in the old Street Fighter or Chun-Li from the Chun-Li movie?
Oh no, Kirsten Kirk versus.
Yeah, you're killing me if you're gonna say that. I'm gonna say anybody is prettier than the chick from Smallville.
She was on a cult.
She's a smoke show. No, I thought it was the other girl.
They're both were in that same cult, but she got out because she was like, "This is a cult."
Fair. The other one doubled down.
Yeah, the other one's like, "Oh, this is a cult. Cool. I want to be a part of this.
I want to be at the highest level I can get as a woman." All right, my number 2 is going to be Detective Pikachu. I mean, yeah, I guess I could say something nice about Ryan Reynolds and say he was in the movie. All right, that is my number 2. Jaron, let's go to your number 1.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Video game movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog. It was going to be my number 1 from the rip. As soon as I saw this list, I was like, the only movie I've genuinely enjoyed and am excited for a sequel on that has been true to the video game for the most part. Not really, but true. I mean, the changes they made in it, I enjoyed all of them, including Jim Carrey's Robotnik. I just enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was great. And I'm glad that the internet, bullied them into fixing Sonic before they released it from that nightmare creature with the human teeth that they originally showed up.
Here, you want something to haunt your nightmares? Here you go, Sonic the Hedgehog.
We need to get back to that movie, those movies in the 80s where they terrified children.
Now I have to find that photo and make sure I put it in the edit. All right, Jason, Duke of all nerds, you're number 1.
So here's where I lack on my movie knowledge because I've not seen Sonic the Hedgehog or Detective Pikachu, and I would imagine those movies are really, really good because people have said they're really, really good. But I haven't seen them, so I can't put them on my list. So my number 1 is going to be Mortal Kombat, the first one from 1995.
Yes. Not the new one?
Not the new one. No, not the new one. That new one can go fuck itself. But there's something like endearing about movies that were made in the 90s that are like, they're just so like cheesy and bad that like, even when you were a kid and like, this is kind of bad, you're still like, but I love this.
You're like,
It's like, this is bad, but for some reason I still love it. And Mortal Kombat, the first one, it's so bad, but can't help but have a little place in my heart for it.
If I wanted to, I mean, I always thought like as soon as I watched that new one, I was like, they need to reshoot, or somebody needs to go through and redo the fight with Reptile and make him the tragic, janky 90s version where it's like 7 total polygons. I was like, oh, that'd be great. Just as a callback. But
PS1 era graphics.
Yeah. But so much effort for just a joke that would just be like, oh, and then we'd move on with our lives. So,
but it wouldn't really be that much effort because it would be easy to make that model today.
Because what I mean, I feel like Mortal Kombat, it takes off from what Into the Dragon, isn't it the Bruce Lee movie? That
it's like
rips
where they go to the island for the tournament. Yeah, it's like Into the Dragon.
Yeah. Again, I love Mortal Kombat. So you're
which I mean, like any fighting game movie, like for any movie for a fighting game, that should be the only setup you need. Like, oh, this is Enter the Dragon, except replace Bruce Lee with characters from that video game.
You're there.
Yeah. Easy.
Just stop. Don't even. Why are you trying to overthink this?
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna get because I felt myself getting mad about the reboot. So I'm just gonna say yes, you're correct. My number one is also Sonic the Hedgehog, but I guess for me, instead of wasting time on talking about all the great things of Sonic, I did have some honorable mentions. Werewolf Within. The movie that we reviewed recently is technically based off a video game.
Technically.
So it was really good. So that was one of my honorable mentions I was going to put there. If you guys had a choice of a game that they could transition to a movie, what would be your number one choice right now? I don't put you on the spot with that. What would you?
Are we going to just shout it out? We're going to shout it out. Do we have to raise our hand?
Fine.
Halo.
No. Okay. Halo. All right. They have like
make a good movie is what you're saying out of that game.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have to say be good, but if they were to make
if they could make a motion picture of a video game,
live action version.
If they could recreate Ghostbusters the video game in a movie format, that'd be dope too. Because that was
bringing old dead actors back to life.
It would take some dark magic, some late nights in the cemetery with a shovel, sure, but
mine would be I struggled with this one because of my initial reaction when I said it was like, oh, easily Metroid. But after consideration, I felt like, you know what? I rather would have Shadow of Colossus. I would just want to see the grand scale of them doing that. And they could probably split it up into 2-3 parts and just get like Peter Jackson or get the best guys to do it and just
shoot it all in New Zealand.
Yeah, just go insane.
Don't worry,
I'm playing with a lot of themes here.
Here's the thing. I love that idea, but there is no conversation, no story, no anything in that game.
The story is did the character even have a name?
No, every player made up it was just a weird like foreign language, like Ico was like it would occasionally just show up and it was nothing. So you would have to do a lot. There'd have to be a lot of somebody writing something that wasn't part of the original story or filler or something to make that happen. But I agree the
concept,
scope of those fights with a full cinematic treatment would be amazing.
Well, but here's the thing. So this is because, when I think of these crazy things, I already have it in my mind how you can accomplish this thing.
Right.
I feel like you do a Conan-esque, like part 1 version of it where you have a voiceover guy. And then you bring in, because the biggest thing in Shadow of a Colossus, if you want to give the one negative of the video game, is we don't understand why he's doing this for this princess. We don't understand the relationship. We don't understand nothing. Nothing's there. But you could do some kind of voiceover kind of thing where it kind of puts some kind of story into that makes it real. So maybe in the travels, you do flashbacks of them spending time together or doing adventures themselves. And all of this is just completely silent. Now, granted, yes. Will it only be for us? Real cinephiles that will love and enjoy this? Absolutely. But when you're making a movie Shadow of Colossus, I doubt my mother's going to want to go see it. It's not going to make $1 billion.
I mean, essentially what this would be the never-ending story without all the cutscenes of Bastion. It would just be Atreyu and his horse. And that's all. I mean, that's really what the never-ending story was Atreyu and Artax. And Atreyu just talked to Artax and did his thing. And that would be the movie. And that would be great.
With all these boss fights. Like how many Colossus
1,800
would you put it?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because what is it? 8, 9 of them in there in the game?
Yeah, there's like flying ones, there's some that go under the sand, there's tall ones. Yeah.
But yeah, I figure like each movie you have like 2 to 3 of them in there.
Yeah,
and you make that work, and then you, like I said, do 2-3 movies, and then bam, we're there. And then you do, because like Lord of the Rings,
he needs a plucky sidekick.
Yeah, or that's when the studio will ruin the movie. If we get a plucky sidekick, the movie's over.
Needs a
I'm sorry, I take mine
fun,
back.
mildly handicapped sidekick who speaks in a racial slur-esque language to bring in the children.
Matt Damon said he's not doing that anymore.
Or if you're gonna do the sidekick, make the sidekick the one that's good with the bow and arrow. So you kind of take that ability from the main character. Like the video game, he does both. Make him the guy that uses the bow and arrow to set up, like to get the the Colossus to lay down or do stuff like that. I mean, you can be creative, but I feel like once you get into plucky sidekick range, you get into everything being a joke.
You need an overly stereotypical accent with that, but he's good with the bow.
Now that you brought up sidekick, I have a much better answer. It would be amazing if we got a full CG proper studio version of the Jack and Daxter story, which is a phenomenal story.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
If you haven't played those, the first one is just it's like your prototypical like action adventure 3D action adventure game, and there's something going on with these precursor orbs, but they're just really a collectible and it's no big deal. And then at the end of it, you get sucked into a portal, and in the second one, you're in the far distant future. It is vastly different than the first game in every way, and you find out that you were actually hidden. Your character, Jack, was actually put in the past to be hidden on purpose from people that were from, and the whole story, you were born in the future and everything, but you were tucked away in the past, like hiding from all this shit. And then the third one, you turn into like a fucking angel and a dark side come at you. And it's dope as fuck. It's a great fucking story. And then they race some go-karts because that's what video games did in the
that's video games.
90s, 2000s.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move right on along.
Moving right along.
This show home, guys. Thank you as always. Listen to the N-Word for Nerd podcast. Hopefully what you listened to today you enjoyed, or if you thought it was just trash, tell us that it was trash and why our opinions
we'll tell you
wrong.
to suck our dicks.
I know. Tell Jason to start being a lot easier and nicer to Jaron. Oh yeah, this Jason, not that Jason, whichever one you point to.
We agree to disagree.
Right. So if comments, thoughts, please leave it on Facebook or on YouTube. And again, we're everywhere: DSP, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there as well. And if you are on YouTube, again, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified when we drop. Because this new format we have, we're pretty much dropping stuff almost every single day between reviews and music and movies and culture talks about Lord of the Rings and if Batman sucks and if Tim Drake is. Oh, we'll probably say that for another one. All right, good. So, as always, sign it off here. Jaron, anything like to say to everybody before we leave?
No, you guys have a great week, man.
All right, and Jason number A, Duke of all nerds. Anything like to say?
Be kind, be considerate, and tip your servers and bartenders 20%. At least.
All right. At least.
You can tip them more, please. That'd be good.
And if you had a great time, tune in and we'll have more content for you.